Sea of Thieves has changed forever, splitting the ocean in two, giving players a choice: the calm, predictable, safer seas, or the classic, chaotic high seas. But there's a hidden trap in this choice that the game doesn't tell you about. A trap that could completely stall your progress. In this video, I'm not showing you the difference, I'm giving you the expert strategy to master both seas and build your legend. Let's get the most obvious one out of the way first. Other players. This is the single biggest factor that will define every single moment you spend in this game, and it's where the two modes become completely different experiences. On safer seas, the world is yours and yours alone. You will never see another player sail on the horizon. This creates an almost zen-like predictable experience. It means you can focus entirely on your voyage, on solving that riddle, or just learning the mechanics of sailing and fighting skeletons without ever having to look over your shoulder. It's a controlled, relaxing adventure. Then you have high seas. The moment you load in, you are sharing that world with up to 5 other crews, and that changes everything. The ships you see in the distance aren't props, they're other real people with their own motivations. That player on the horizon could be a new player just like you. They could be a friendly veteran who wants to form an alliance, or they could be a ruthless crew of pirates who want to sink you and take every last piece of treasure you spend the last 2 hours gathering. You simply don't know, and this creates a constant background tension that makes every voyage a gamble. So the first and most important question you have to ask yourself is this: am I here for the predictable adventure where I'm in control? Or am I here for the risk, the chaos, and the unforgettable stories that can only happen when real players are involved? Okay, so you know how to interact with players. The next major difference is the rewards you get for your treasure. And this is where things have changed very recently, and where a lot of older information you might find is wrong. In the past, Safer Seas only gave you a small fraction of the rewards, but after a key update that has been completely changed, you earn 100% of the gold and 100% of the reputation on Safer Seas, the exact same amount as you get on High Seas. That's right, all of the reward with none of the risk from other players. Let me show you. Here's a chest I sold on Safer Seas, and here's the identical chest I sold on High Seas. As you can see, the payout is exactly the same. The work is valued equally in both modes. So, you might be thinking to yourself, well, that settles it then. Why would I ever play on High Seas if the reward is the same and there's no risk? It seems like an obvious choice, right? And that is where the new trade-off comes in. And this is where you discover the real price you have to pay for your safety, because the limit isn't on your wallet anymore, it's on your ambition. So what is the real price you pay for all that safety? It isn't a tax on your gold anymore, it's a hard limit on your ambition. This is the new trade-off, and for many players it's even more significant than the old one. On Safer Seas, your progress in the main trading companies is now hard capped at level 25. This is a recent change from the old cap of 40, meaning you'll reach the ceiling much faster than before. You can get a great feel for the game, but your journey up the ranks will come to a very abrupt halt. And hitting that cap is going to mean you're locked out of the most important progression systems in the game. The emissary system, which is key to massive rewards on High Seas, will remain completely locked. The dedicated PvP faction, the Reaper Bones, will be unavailable, and most importantly, the ultimate goal for so many players, becoming a pirate legend, is impossible on Safer Seas. Because you can't get to level 50 in the required companies, the entire endgame faction of Athena's Fortune will remain sealed away from you permanently. Think of it this way: Safer Seas gives you the full reward for your time, but it only lets you play the first part of the game. It's the perfect risk-free place to start your story, but it's not a place you can stay if you want to complete it. The game itself ensures that if you have any ambition to reach the top, you will have to eventually embrace the risk of the High Seas. So, now we have all the facts. You get the full reward, but you're limited to level 25, and you'll never see another player. With all that in mind, who is Safer Seas actually for? In my view, it's perfect for 3 specific types of players. First, you have the trainee, that is the brand new player. If you're starting out, the sheer number of things to learn in Sea of Thieves can be overwhelming. Safer Seas is the perfect training ground. It gives you that space to learn how to angle your sails, how to effectively use your cannons, and how to read a map, and also how to complete the basic voyages, all without the constant fear of being attacked by a veteran crew, and it lets you build that foundation of confidence. Second is for the storyteller. Sea of Thieves has an incredible sprawling story told through its tall tales. These are often involving complex puzzles and a lot of sailing around, and on the High Seas it can be incredibly frustrating to be sunk in the middle of a multi-part quest. Safer Seas removes that risk completely. It allows you to immerse yourself in the lore and solve puzzles at your own pace without any interruptions. And third is for the casual. This is the player who maybe only has an hour to play after work or on a weekend. You want a guaranteed low stress experience. Safer Seas provides that. You know you can log on, complete a voyage and log off with the gold you've earned. You've traded the potential of high level progress and wild adventure for the certainty of a predictable and relaxing session. So if you see yourself in any of those descriptions, someone who values learning, story or a predictable session over high level progression, then Safer Seas is an excellent choice for you. So we know who benefits from the calm of Safer Seas, but on the other side of the coin, who would willingly choose to sail on the chaotic, risk-filled high seas, especially when the gold reward is the same? Well, this mode is essential for a different set of players. First, and most importantly, it's for the aspirant. This is the player whose goal is to climb the ranks, unlock the best cosmetics, and one day become a pirate legend. As we established, all of that is impossible on Safer Seas. If you have any ambition for long-term progression and reaching the end game, you don't just want to be on the high seas, you have to be. Second is for the thrill seeker. This player believes that the heart of Sea of Thieves isn't just the treasure, it's the stories you get while chasing it. The risk of being attacked, the joy of forming a spontaneous alliance, the adrenaline of outsmarting a hostile crew, these are things that only happen because of other players. For the thrill seeker, a world without that risk is a world without excitement. And third is for the achiever. This is the player who wants to experience everything the game has to offer. They want to master the emissary system for massive rewards, they want to engage with the Reaper Bones faction, and they want to complete every commendation. For the achiever, playing on Safer Seas is like being given a book without the final chapters. High Seas is the only place to get that complete experience. So if you're a player who craves progression, excitement and access to 100% of the content, then High Seas isn't just an option, it's the only destination. So after all that, what's the final verdict? Safer Seas or High Seas? The secret that experienced players understand is that you don't actually have to choose one. The best way to play Sea of Thieves is to use both modes strategically. I call it the graduate and commute strategy. First, you graduate. Think of Safer Seas as your university. It's the perfect controlled environment to learn everything you need to know. You master sailing, you learn combat, you experience the voyages, and you play through the story-driven tall tales. You do all of this until you hit that level 25 cap, and more importantly until you feel completely confident in your abilities. Then when you graduate, you take all that knowledge and experience and you move into the main event, High Seas. You're no longer a trainee, you're a prepared competitor. You can handle yourself and now you're ready to chase the real end game. Work towards Pirate Legend and truly build your fortune. But it doesn't end there. That's where you commute. Even as a veteran player on High Seas, Safer Seas will remain an incredibly useful tool. If you want to play through the new tall tale without any risk, or you only have 30 minutes and want a guaranteed relaxing session, you can simply commute back to the safety of your private server and you can use the right mode for the right job. This approach will give you the best of both worlds. It provides a safe, effective learning curve at the start and it offers flexibility and convenience at the end. Don't choose one sea, learn to master them both. So, what's your strategy going to be? Let me know in the comments below which mode you're planning to play. If this guide helped you, hit that subscribe button to join the Assault Review community for more weekly guides and adventures. Thank you for watching and I'll see you out there.